online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads from over 200 countries and your #1 source in after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
This goes out to all the baby mamas. Well, there was a lot of baby mama drama on Adult Swim Black Jesus, so we want to thank you guys for tuning into AFTERBUZZ TV for the Adult Swim show Black Jesus. This was season 1, episode 4. It was titled I Gave at the Playground. I'm your host, Bamm Ericsen. Thaddeus Massey will not be in, so I'm just gonna recap and do the show by myself. So if you guys are listening, you guys can tune in to our number here in Studio B. What is it, 424?
424-256-1633. Go ahead and call in. I'll open up Skype.
Thank you, Stephen. So we're listening to Fantasia's Baby Mama because there was so much baby mama drama that was going on. We had Booney's character, Baby Mama, was introduced, Shalika. So very interesting show. But before we get into all the baby mama drama, the show opens up with Lloyd needs some peace and he needs somewhere to sleep. So he breaks into Vic's car. He takes a brick or something and he breaks the back of the window. He breaks in, he lays and gets a nice sleep and some peace, and then he gets up before the morning time, before Vic is able to catch him in the act. And so when Vic goes to what he calls his Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme Classic car, he sees the windows broken. He is pissed off. He's so pissed off, he decides to call an impromptu tenant meeting in the middle of the foyer of the building, you know, asking, did anyone see anything? And what I really like about the Lloyd's character is he's such a hustler. He's like, oh, you know, I can't believe it. Oh my God, that's so terrible. And so he goes right along with it as if he knows nothing that's going on. And Vic is like, I want you guys to report whoever broke my window. You report it to me, not to the police, because I'm going to handle it. And Black Jesus is saying, you know, Lloyd, you need to, not Lloyd, but Vic, you need to really slow yourself down. You're going to really bust a vessel. And so he kind of warns him, but, you know, Vic is not really having it. So that was a pretty funny, hilarious opening scene. And then we go forward, as I mentioned before, with Vic and Lloyd. They have a very interesting relationship because you can tell they're kind of forced to become friends because, you know, Vic needs Lloyd and Lloyd needs the opportunity to lay his head anywhere besides living on the streets. So they have this really interesting relationship where the two of them they keep coming toward each other and they need each other's help. And so this time around, Vic hires Lloyd to investigate and to watch his car. And so he hires him. He pays him $5 for him to sit out and sleep on the curb by his car. And Lloyd is not having it. And Lloyd says, no. You don't even have to pay me. You let me sleep in your car for 10 days and I'll watch and I'll find out what happens. And so we go forth from there. And Vic now needs the car because he needs to go on a hot date with some girl to what he calls it was called the Yard House. And Vic is like, I gotta go, we gotta go, you gotta get out, I gotta go. And Lloyd is like, where are we going? And Vic is like, we're not going anywhere, I got a hot date, you gotta go. And so he puts him out, and then Lloyd then decides to get a cab. He follows him to the restaurant on his hot date, and then what happens is he is sleeping in the car, and now And now Vic is on his hot date. He's getting back to the house. He's talking about, you know, making an omelet for the girl. And the girl is like, it really stinks like ass in here. And so Vic obviously knows that Lloyd's been in the car, and so he's trying to play it off. And right when they're getting ready to, like, you know, make out or something, she was like, I just can't do this. It just really stinks. And then up comes Lloyd, says, you know, well, the smell must be your upper lip, bitch. And so she sprays him with some mace, and she runs out the car. And the first thing that Lloyd does is he says, hey, she forgot a purse. So then she goes into her purse, and he goes digging for money. And that was really what that's what really happened with the Vic and Lloyd character for episodes 4 on Black Jesus. So I really like where this is going between these two, because like I said before, they have a very weird relationship. Like when you watch a lot of movies like the buddy cops, there's always characters that are always forced to become friends and have to work with each other. You know, you look at Rush Hour with Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, how they were on opposite ends, but they were forced to work with each other. You had Beverly Hills Cop, you had 48 Hours, you had Lethal Weapon, you had all these movies where you had these two opposite characters who were forced to have to work with each other. And I'm really interested to see how this is going to pan out, because at some point Vic is going to find out that Lloyd is playing him. You know, he played him this week, he played him last week, and so I'm wondering what's going to happen. Will the two become friends, and then Vic will find out, and then will he not care? So I find it really interesting to see how the dynamic of their relationship or their friendship is gonna go. But very hilarious scene. And then plus, you know, who doesn't want to watch Charlie Murphy and John Witherspoon, who are two great comedians, and not work together? And just to see them two feed off of each other is quite hilarious. So I really enjoy watching the sequences between those two. And before we go into the next segment, we want to remind you guys that we have iTunes, and make sure that you go to iTunes and make sure you download, rate, comment, subscribe, and please tell friends, because without iTunes and without the support of all of you guys, we would not have this great studio that we have here on AfterBuzz TV. So we want to thank you guys for always supporting us with iTunes. Now, I mentioned earlier about the baby mama drama. So we open up with Booney in the front of Miss Tootie's house having a yard sale, because he needs to sell things in order to pay child support to his baby mama, Shalika. And Booney is saying that he's paid the money. He's paid $400. You know, he's paid the child support, but he knows that Shalika, if she doesn't get more money, she's going to take him to jail. So they have this big yard sale, and Miss Tootie's pissed because, you know, you got the police that's lurking around, and she's already she's a local drug dealer. She sells weed, and so she doesn't want the police around. So she's pissed. She's pissed at Booney, and whenever she's pissed at Booney, she does what she does, and that's insults him. She insults him about how he ain't shit, how he's just like his dad, you know, from that whack tracksuit that he had, and how he's so fat and that he's never even seen a track. And so she's totally just going off on her son. And there was something that Mrs. Tootie says. She says she never once referred to Booney's baby mom by her name. Every time she referenced her, she called her that bitch, which was interesting. And then she says, why does Booney like mean ass bitches? Well, Miss Tootie, you're a mean bitch to your mom, so you're a mean bitch to your son. So what he likes is an example of what he sees in his experience. So I thought that was really interesting how she made such a point about how he's only attracted to certain women, not realizing that, you know, he's attracted to women like his mom. But you know, you can disagree with me on that one, but that's pretty much how I see that. And so now we're on the second day, or later on in the day, at the yard sale that Booney's having to sell all his things. Then Shalika enters. She enters. what I thought was really interesting, so when she arrives, you know, the two kids come, and the two kids' names are Boon Boon and Boonlinkwa. That is the epitome of ratchet and ghetto-ness, is Boon Boon and Bulika. And what's interesting about Boon and Shalika's relationship, this is like, for me, this is the epitome, this is a true representation of what we would call hood love. Hood love, ghetto love, ratchet love, whatever you want to call it, the street, you know, urban. I felt like their relationship was truly on point. So when she arrives, she's obviously, she makes fun of him. She's poking fun at him, called him a big ass. He had on this green tracksuit, and she said that, you know, you look like a big ass Mountain Dew, the soda. And she gets on him about the child support line. Booney's saying that he gave $400 to the kids, $200 apiece, and she was like, well, she asked the kids said they only give $10. And so she obviously thinks he's lying and says that he has 24 hours or a day to produce money, or she's taking him to jail. Then the drama doesn't stop there. So then, as she's taking pictures to show proof of what's being sold so that she can pretty much add up what the money is that Boone is going to make from the yard sale, she snaps a picture of Boone and Mag together, and Mag is like, I really prefer you not to take pictures. Can you please delete it? And then Shalika says she accuses Mag of effing her leftovers. Mag didn't take too kind to this, and so the two of them now get into this argument, and Mag throws a shoe at Shalika's face. Well, that's when all hell broke loose. Shalika then takes off her wig. She takes off her wig and then she sits the wig on Boonlinka's head and said, "Here, watch my wig." So she places the wig on. She places a wig on her daughter's head, and then her and Mag start to fight. You know, Mag got a couple good hits in, but Shalika pretty much whipped that ass. She whipped her ass, and then she whipped Black Jesus' ass. Then she threatened Fish, because everyone knows that Fish is an ex-con, and so she said, "All I have to do to your ass is tell the police you hit me. I'll lie, and I'll take your black ass back to jail." So Fish basically he lays off. Then Trayvon comes on with shoulder pads, and she beats him down too. She beats everybody down, and then they're all sitting in a living room in Miss Tootie's house, and Miss Tootie's like, "You know, I can't have this. Your ass got to go." What I thought was interesting about this whole entire scene was, when you're dealing with a father and the baby mama, everything always is about everything else except really the children. You know, the children, it's unfortunate that the children have to sit and watch, you know, your mom fight, your mom take off wigs, your mom beating people, and it's just it's funny, but yet it's kind of sad. But it's also true that sometimes, you know, that we adults sometimes can get so caught up into the relationship that we forget about the kids. And yeah, Shalika, she's interesting. She's very interesting, but to say the least. So then after that, Black Jesus then goes and tries to talk with Booney, saying, you know, you've got to be able to fix this. And Booney's saying that he's given the $400 to the kids because he feels that if he's not in the relationship with Shalika anymore, that he's not going to pay for all of her hair weaves, because all she does is she takes the money and she spends the money on hair weave and not for the kids. So that's why he gave the money to Boom Boom and to Boonlinkwa. So then Black Jesus goes and he tries to ration with Shalika, and Trayvon is there, and man, she just ripped Trayvon to shreds. She says, "Why are you here? Black Jesus don't need no assistant." And she kind of just punks and just shoos him away. Trayvon's character, you know, as we mentioned before, he's the ride or die. You know, he does anything for Black Jesus. He does anything that he asks him to do, and you know, he's just gets punked around by everybody. But I like the fact that he's kind of like Job in a sense, where he just has so much patience, and he's willing to just take and do anything as he is, you know, serving a Black Jesus. So I really like the whole Trayvon character, which I think is really interesting. But so going back to that, Shalika and Black Jesus are talking, and Shalika basically says that the only way that she will come to terms or think about not reporting Boone so that he can go to jail is if that the two of them can get back together. Now, she says she feels she needs help, that she needs assistance, and she really likes Boone. So then Boone then has a conversation with Black Jesus, and Black Jesus is like, no, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I'd rather go to jail than be with her ass. And Boone, I back you 100% on this, because her ass is mean. She is just simply mean, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of slack for this, but you know, she's just mean, and I see why she doesn't have a man. I'm just gonna say it. If you guys want to tweet me, or if you want to say I'm wrong, I don't care. But Shalika's mean, and a character like that is probably never going to be able to keep a man. What we're gonna do is, can we take a commercial break really quick, and then we're gonna come right back.
For what?
Because so just bear with us, and we're gonna go into a quick commercial break.
AfterBuzz TV.
Calling, I'm sorry.
Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And, like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after-shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
All right, we're back here at AfterBuzz TV for the Adult Swim Black Jesus. We're on season 1, episode 4, and so we were discussing the whole baby mama drama with Shalika and Boonie's character, and so the very last scene is when Shalika comes with the police ready to take Boonie to jail, and they are like, you know, you have Boonie, you have one more chance. You either get with her or you go to jail. And Boonie's like, no, I'm going to jail. I don't blame you, because you do not want to be a glutton for punishment for this woman, because she seems to never be happy about anything. And so what happens is the kids reveal that Daddy has actually paid them. They pull out the $200, and then Shalika asks, well, why didn't you tell me that your dad gave you some money? And the kids say, because, Mama, you spent all our money on hair weaves. Boom. What I liked about this storyline is because it gave a real depiction of baby mama drama, urban relationships, and although it's refreshing sometimes just to see the other side, because, you know, a lot of times we males, we are depicted a certain way of not paying child support, and we're not taking care of our kids, we're not there for the kids. And, you know, I personally know a lot of women like the Shalika character where money is actually given to themselves more so the kids. And so it was refreshing to see just a different side of how this was going to go. But I also like the fact that rather than rather than, you know, trying to take Shalika to jail because, you know, obviously what she was doing was wrong. You know, everything was resolved, and the two of them said that they would basically try to work out. They would try and co-parent a little bit better, and so I thought it was just really refreshing. Although, like I said again, you know, characters like Shalika that's kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but it's a true depiction, and I really can respect how in the very end, you know, although she was wrong, Boone didn't have to throw it in her face. They acknowledge both their mistakes in the relationship, and they want to try and work on it. And that's something that I truly appreciate about that. And, you know, and then Black Jesus is trying to say that he had something to do with this. And they were like, no, Black Jesus, you had nothing to do with this. But what I really liked about this episode, and just the episodes that we've seen so far, is you notice that there's always two stories that's going on. You always obviously have the Vic and the Lloyd character, because there's always something that's going on between them. You have Vic who's constantly trying to prove that Black Jesus is a fake, and so he needs someone to help join forces with him. And so obviously Lloyd does it for his gain, for whatever he can get out of it. So you're gonna always see what's going on, but each week we always see different things with all the different characters. So last week we saw Jason and Diane's relationship, and now we got to see Boone, and we got to see his baby mama. And so I am predicting that, you know, we'll get to see more about Fish, we'll get to see more about Trayvon, we'll get to see more about Mags, and then, you know, characters like Mrs. Tootie, we'll see her just always in the mix, because obviously she is she's Boone's mom. So overall, I think it was a great show. I'm really looking forward to next week's episode, which is entitled Fried Green Tomatoes. And we want to thank you guys for just tuning in. I know it's a short show, but you know, when you're by yourself and it's a 20 minute sitcom, you know, with no commercials, it's not as long. So next week we will have Thaddeus back with us, and we have a very special guest. So make sure that you guys follow. Make sure you guys follow us on AfterBuzz TV, and you can follow me at Bamm Ericsen to get the updates. But next week you're not gonna want to miss not only the episode 5, but you're not gonna want to miss the recap for episode 5. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode here on AfterBuzz TV for Black Jesus. We'll see you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.